today I'm going to teach you something that you need to know how to repair. This is on a 2550. This is one of the newer models. This one's got a Kohler. The other one's got a Kubota engine on it. The newer ones, I'm not sure what year they started this, probably at least 4 years ago, let's just say. They switched up. They all have the same front ends except for they upgraded, all right? What we're going to teach you about today is your steering. There, I have a YouTube short. You saw it yesterday, it came out. There's your rod that connects your rod ends, and then you have these bolts right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you, we're going to go back to the bench, and I'll show you. This is what controls your steering left to right. There is a hydraulic ram. Let's go over here. Right there, that when the ram pushes out, it'll turn the wheel. When it pulls in, it'll turn the wheel the other way. But what connects the wheels is what I show you on the back side of there. You need to know this, and we'll, give me a second, let me get to the bench. All right, we're back at the bench. Those connectors to that rod that make the steering go left to right, they're called two different things, like I told you in one of my shorts. They're either called heims joints, see this pivots here, or rod ends. So it depends where you're buying them from. You can buy them from race car part places. They know them as heim joints. Some of you are pulleys and suppliers for bearings. They call them rod ends. But typically they'll know what you're talking about. So I'm going to break down a price. I go to a race car place. You can order these off of like Summit Racing, but I got a place in town. They're $15 a piece, all right? And they make these in two different materials, chromoly and regular. Chromoly, they're extremely strong, but on these Bandits, now a lot of machines use this type of system, but on Bandits, that's the pre-designed failure point so that you don't damage something else. Because you got a 10-ton ram like I was showing you, pushing left and right? So this is how they'll fail. They'll finally get weak and they'll snap off. See, that one snapped off too. All right, so these, as you notice, are smaller than this, because the smaller ones on your original Bandit 2550s, they ran a smaller design. These are 5/8, okay? They're newer, they upgraded because the engines weigh a lot more. They upgraded to a 3/4 inch, all right? Now, I had one fail on a job that we were doing a big cottonwood, and when it failed, it luckily failed at the end of the job. So we loaded the machine up, came home, switched out machines, and I went out to get more supplies. I thought I had some of these, but I do, and I did, but in the old design for the older machine in my box. All right, so I went out and bought 4 of these. You see 3 because one's on the machine already. We did that changeover. They cost about $15 a piece. And then you got to pay for the nuts, which are about $1.50 whatever. These nuts are called jam nuts, all right? Now, there's something else you need to know about these. On your Bandits, there's a right-hand thread and a left-hand thread. You cannot use, like say this one, let's say if this is a right hand, you can't use it on the other side of that bar, okay? Because that bar rotates, and that's what makes your alignment of your wheels in the front. So there's a left hand and a right hand. So I suggest you buy one of each, put them in your box, and make sure you get the nuts with them, because sometimes when they snap in a way that you can't get the old nut off. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to buy. And you can tell what a left-handed one and a right-handed one is. The left-handed ones, let me see if we can get this. See that writing on there? They'll have some kind of marking on it, so there'll be a left-handed thread, right? And the other one's a right-handed thread. So you keep those two together. That's for another emergency. This one here is what I got left from, I bought 2, remember? So here's the other one. So keep those in your boxes. Next thing you're going to do, on a newer design, they went from a regular bolt, which was a grade A bolt with threads on the old machines, and it didn't have a smooth shaft. See, this is a smooth shaft. So it used to have threads here, and the threads would wear down, and then you get slop running through here. They would be sloppy after time went on. They corrected that problem by using these bolts. And these bolts take a lot of wear. Look, see how much that wore? This is an old one I keep as a, when I go to the supply house, I toss it to them. They know what I'm asking for. These are known as shoulder bolts, all right? Cap-headed shoulder bolts. I asked them the hardness. They think they're around a 12, all right? I go to a different supplier for it. You can find them on the internet. And what they are on the Bandits, the newer one, they're 3/4 by 1.5 inch socket shoulder cap screw. That's what this place, the Rule Company, calls them, all right? They're about 12 bucks a piece. So each one of these is $12 a piece. I bought 4 of these, 4 of these. So I got spares. Now I did notice that a regular washer will have a lot of slop on here. So to fit it perfect, I went with an 18mm hard flat washer, plated. They're about 67 cents. And you will need 2 per bolt. All right, so I've got it set up to where I got enough for it to cover all of this. Now we're going to the nuts that are on here, all right? These aren't regular nuts. These are 3/4 inch, all metal lock, all right? And these are about, I don't know what the hell, $1 a piece or whatever. What makes these different is once these go on, they don't have any nylon in them or anything, but they have a tapered fit on this collar. Once they go on, if it's to get loose, it only comes off so much, and then it's, I'm telling you, you need a bazooka to get them off. All right, but they can get loose, but you tighten them up, and always check your machine and tighten them. Now, I've got certain tricks in how I do it out in the field, but I'm going to tell you something too. A lot of times, if you can't get one of these off, it may be because the threads on here got damaged on the end. You know, you're out in the mud, rocks, all that crap. It destroys the bottom end of that bolt. So what I do is I use an angle grinder with a cutting disc on it. And here's one here. This is the one we replaced the other day. This is how it was, sitting in the machine. I turned my wheel. I had access to the top of it. I slid it between here and that washer, because sliced it right off. And here's the assembly. I could not, normally I try to unscrew that off, but see how I got a little damage there? It would screw on and off, and with that locking part, it just wouldn't come off. It was faster just to slice it and dice it. But you need to know something else too. And I'll show you here, this is an old one, so you'll know. Let me go down here. This is from one of our older machines. Yeah. Hang with me, I'm sorry, but you need to know. That bolt's going through that hole, all right? Actually, I'm sorry, it's going through this hole here. And see how I got wallowed out on this? It was a defect in the steering mechanism, and how it got defected was from the factory. You see what's in here? It's a bushing. You see how it's got like looks like an opening there? They're crush bushings. You have to squeeze them and to get them in there. When I bought that other machine, apparently it was built during the pandemic. Somebody at the factory did not put a crush bushing in there. So it was metal on metal, and it got sloppy. They didn't tighten up a bolt or whatever. It was just pandemic companies got built. Stuff happens on the assembly line. Let's just say it. It happened, all right? Wore it out. I had to get a new one. I kept the old one. You know why? Because I could take it to a machine shop and, hold on a minute. Take that old one to a machine shop, have it reworked, remachined, And I've got a spare part sitting there, okay? The factory covered it on under warranty and repaired it, and they know what was going on with COVID and stuff. So I know these steering things in your first few hours or whatever of the machine, they'll be covered under warranty. But I showed you all this for a couple of things. If you're buying a used machine, go underneath the front end and look at it. All right, see if it's loose. Grab that bar and you can see, or start the machine, turn the wheels left to right, and I'll do it here and show you. All right, hold on. All right, let's look at this. All right, remember, there's your rod end underneath here. Here's the shoulder bolt going through. The older ones will have a regular bolt, not a shoulder bolt. But I'm going to rebuild the front end on my old Big Booty Judy, and I'll show you how I rebuild that. Now, when you're looking at a used machine, go here. First thing you want to do, we'll start it up for a second. Just run the machine with yourself down there looking to see if it's loose or worn. You need to be aware of that, okay? Because these engines are extremely heavy, especially on the newer ones. It's a lot of weight on there, turning left to right, and you're in thick mud and stuff. Now, another real quick, some of you are going to say, well, I'll just take it to a dealer. Yes, but you may go to a dealer that also sells other products, and they just, your stump grinder line of Bandit's an additional line. Like, you know, in Texas, I had a Bobcat dealer that did these. They don't work on them that much. So the mechanic's learning himself on them. Or they don't have the parts on the shelf, which I guarantee you they don't have those parts on the shelf. So source them out, find the parts, or make sure and order those parts I showed you there. If you buy one of these machines, please have them. Also, if you buy a new machine, buy those parts like I told you, or if you want to get it from a dealer, order from a dealer, I don't care. Order extra teeth. You got to have these things, because if you go down, you're down. You go to the dealer and your machine might be sitting there for 3 weeks. I ordered this machine. I'm about to show you something that I was very unhappy with, all right? I ordered this machine with the blade, but the one they had in stock didn't have a blade. So the factory sent the blade kit to the dealer, which took 3 weeks. Then it got to the dealer, and I took the machine back for them to put it. That's another week it was sitting there. But the workmanship of my dealer was terrible, because they put it on. Now you see those shiny bolts underneath there? That's what holds this blade on. They put it on with the wrong length bolts. They also put it on with grade 2s. Those got changed. My son changed them all out. We got grade 5s, put them on there. There was shearing. My blade kept falling off for a couple of days. So that caused me to start looking around, and some of the hydraulics, when they hooked up the hydraulic lines for the blade to go up and down. The first day of running the machine was pissing hydraulic fluid everywhere. And then in my control box, I started looking in there, and I had fluid inside the control box. The guy didn't tighten up the lines. He just hand tightened them just a little bit, you know, and didn't go back after he was done to recheck his own work. I redid all his stuff with my son. My son and I were chasing down leaks like we were sinking battleship. And it was every line that they touched to put that blade on. So even when you get stuff back from a dealer, you need to check it out yourself. You need to become mechanical. And if you're going to do this, you know, if you graduate from part-time stump grinding to full-time, you got to have 2 machines. You got to have a backup machine. Because if you go down, you're out of business, all right? So it might be a smaller SG40 or Vermeer. I don't care what brand you have. You got to have like a used machine as a backup, and then your new boy, all right? Because then your new boy becomes, you sell your backup later on, your new boy later on becomes your backup, and then you rotate machinery. You have to. You're going to do this for a living. Anyway, that's enough of boring you. God bless you all. See you next time.